President Obama scolding the media for its coverage of the 2016 race, suggesting it's to blame and it's enabling Donald Trump.
There is enormous pressure on journalists to fill the void and feed the beast with instant commentary and Twitter rumors and celebrity gossip. I believe the electorate would be better served if your networks and your producers would give you the room, the capacity to follow your best instincts and dig deeper into the things that might not always be flashy but need attention.
Is that why Donald Trump is rising? Hi, everyone. I'm Eric Bolling. Welcome to Cash In. Our Cash In crew this week, Jonathan Honig, Rebecca Berg, Gina Loudon, and Juan Williams. Welcome, everybody. Now, Gina, the president trying to school the media with a lecture, but are we to blame, the media to blame for what's going on, or are people fed up with policy? And then, by the way, keep this in your mind, how was he treated when he was elected?
Well, how was he treated when he was elected, and how is he treated now? I mean, unemployment numbers, again, up. Those numbers just came out yesterday, Eric. Jobs and unemployment are in the top 3 issues for Republicans and Democrats. Where are the tough questions for the Obama administration on all of this? This is the president who won't even come on your network and do an interview, who's literally criticizing the media for handing this somehow to Trump. You look at Trump, my gosh, if the media digs any deeper on Trump, they're going to dig up some dinosaur bones, Eric. And so all of this has happened, not because of the media. Trump rose up because people are tired of being smarter than the people they hire to run the government.
All right, well, rebut that, because I hear President Obama blaming the media for not digging deeper, but I don't think he's been digged too deep into by the mainstream media.
Oh, I think he has, and I think, we're on cashing in. Let's not forget, we've seen job growth now over, I guess, several years. We have 5% unemployment. We added jobs just this week. So when you talk about the economy, you'd say, oh, well, that's pretty good. But when it comes to digging, oh, my gosh, I think that a lot of American media has done just what the president said in terms of go after the ratings. When Donald Trump was talking about the birther issue, I guess that's digging on Obama. Oh, my gosh, everybody played along, went right along with all that silliness, all the anti-immigrant stuff, all the anger about economic policy, instead of saying, you know what, we're trying to recover from a deep recession. That's what you see, and I think Republicans, especially Republican niche media, played right into Donald Trump's
Republican niche media. Yeah, but the vast majority of media, John, is liberal media, and the liberal media has given President Obama a pass for the most part for the better part of 7 years. Now all of a sudden he's about to leave office. Hey, media, start digging deeper now.
Yeah, I mean, Eric, it is so offensive. Obama is always quick to lecture the media. Now, I'm more sensitive to the business angle, where he's always quick to lecture business people on how they should conduct their business, but also about, everything from religion to the free press now. But I do think that Obama has actually, in a sense, paved the way for Trump, because there's a lot of similarities. I mean, Obama's rub is that he's always been lawless. But when you think about it, Trump talks about tariffs, talks about his love for eminent domain and government health care. Ironically, philosophically, there's not a lot of difference between the two. There's an authoritarian streak and a pragmatic streak, which essentially says principles out the window.
Rebecca, has this election cycle changed the way media treats candidates, or is this kind of like what we've been through in the past? I mean, this could be a brand new world in American politics.
I mean, it's certainly a unique cycle, Eric. There's no playbook for how to cover Donald Trump, and so that has presented a challenge to the media. How much airtime do you give him versus the other candidates? How do you cover someone who has no political history whatsoever except for comments he's made, but in terms of votes, in terms of elections, there's nothing there. So it's certainly been a challenge for the media, and I think, it makes complete sense that Republicans would try to blame the media for not covering Donald Trump properly, for not vetting him properly, but frankly, I've seen some great coverage from journalists of Donald Trump, of his past business dealings, of his past policy positions, and the way he has evolved over time. But frankly, Donald Trump has used the media to his advantage, because he has taken advantage of the platform with a message that has resonated with people. And
that's the free media.
No stopping
you're
that.
referring to the free media. Juan, but let's talk about Hillary Clinton for a second here. Unless you're watching Fox, you're probably not going to find out too much about what's going on to this FBI investigation into her email service. You don't see it on mainstream media.
Well, I think there's a reason for that. Just like Donald Trump gets great ratings, that's why everybody covers Donald Trump and sometimes makes no excuses for it. Hey, whatever Donald Trump does, we're covering it. All the networks are covering it. By comparison, Eric, The Democrats are kind of slow and pedantic and boring, and to talk about the email scandal, you know what? Most Democrats don't care. They don't even want to hear about it. They're not tuning in. They're not clicking.
Gina, why, or John, go ahead, John, why don't they care? They should be caring. This could be your next president who may have lied about something and exposed some agents overseas. Wow, I think I care, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, Eric, I think it's because the media certainly, but also the American public, they don't really think in principles anymore. So, you know, the fact that Hillary's under investigation doesn't mean anything. And that's why people are given a pass, for example, like Donald Trump, for straying from traditional conservative values. I mean, again, I look at it from an economic perspective, but so many of Trump's positions go against even the basics of a free market. The philosophy is, once again, anything goes as long as it works.
All right,
Jonathan,
Gina, most of Trump's supporters look at it from an economic perspective, too. They are worried about the massive influx of illegals taking jobs. They are worried about their own jobs going away with the new unemployment numbers and constant bad economy. Yeah. These are the things that have propelled Trump to where he is. It is issues-based.
I don't disagree with you, but the fact his perspective, especially on economics, is so different from what a traditional conservative perspective would be. His flip-flops are now seen as a positive because he's seen as being flexible. So, you know, this is, in my opinion, again, the lack of consistent principles, which is really what makes him so outrageous in this election.
You know what? If the media was doing their job and they're just coming to this trade issue, which traditionally has, Jonathan points out, Republicans favor free trade, they would make it clear. Make it clear that, in fact, America has benefited from free trade.
Who would make it clear?
The media. We're talking about the media.
The media's job.
Making that argument.
Why are you saying it's the media's job to make it clear on trade, or it's the media's job to cover the various campaigns and what they're saying about it? They're covering it.
Yeah, but all I'm saying to you, Eric, is if they cover trade as an issue as presented by Trump and others, they would say, one, it's not in keeping with Republican trade, and two, this has helped America, American voters.
Their coverage towards an opinion right there, are you not?
It's a lack of coverage, in my opinion, because it doesn't get ratings.
And one, frankly, the other
push back for a second? If the public is interested in it, it will rate, and the media will cover it.
Right, and so what I'm saying is, if you're passionate and say, America's going down the tubes, America's being ripped off by China, America's losing every time, and I can make a bet, the media will cover it, because, boy, that's sensational. Donald Trump says we're getting suckered. But so they don't cover it when you say, here are the facts.
But it's not being covered the way you want it covered. I'm not sure what you're saying. The rebuttal to that commentary isn't being covered. Well, someone say something. Have Ted Cruz or John Kasich or Hillary Clinton say Trump is wrong, and it'll get covered.
They all follow the Trump lead. Unless you play the Trump game, you don't get coverage. Even when you do, you can't get coverage.
How is that the media? Go ahead, John. How is that the media? Why blame us?
Well, I don't think, and that's the point, Eric. I mean, Obama is quick to scold the media, but in a free country, the media is the people. Juan is right. I mean, not only is Obama getting Trump getting an inordinate amount of coverage, detailed coverage, but the fact is, people do not care. So, Gina, to your point about the issue of trade, I mean, the fact that that Trump takes such positions that are the converse of what would be a traditional capitalist perspective. They know that. It doesn't need coverage, but they don't care.
All right, Gina, final word.
Yeah, much to the chagrin, actually, probably of some of Trump's supporters. He'll sit down with anyone and do an interview about anything, and he just speaks directly from his heart. I think at least that's what his supporters see. And I think that he has risen up. It has nothing to do with any sweet treatment, for sure, of the media. If anything, it's been because they've given him so much time because he does speak so straightforward. You never know what you're going to get.
All right, we're going to leave it right there.